Before the cosmos dared to breathe, there was Knull, the void made sentient. He was not born, he was. When the Celestials pierced the abyss with their first blazing lights, they violated the stillness of the nothing that had reigned eternal. Knull's rage burned colder than any star. From the darkness of his own hatred, he forged the All-Black, the first symbiote, and with it struck down gods who thought themselves eternal. He became the god of the abyss, the harbinger of uncreation. Worlds trembled as his black tide swept across galaxies, enslaving beings to his hive mind, extinguishing the spark of creation wherever it glowed too bright. Even gods fell silent in his shadow. For eons, he slumbered within the void of his throne world, Clintar, dreaming of the day when all would return to his perfect darkness. But the universe has always had its balancing force. Where there is evil absolute, judgment awakens. From the higher realms beyond mortal understanding, the presence saw the infection of the multiverse. Stars were being swallowed, souls devoured before their judgment could be pronounced. The darkness was not just consuming worlds, it was consuming truth itself. And so, the presence called upon his eternal spirit of vengeance, the Spectre. To mortals, he is wrath incarnate. To cosmic beings, he is divine retribution. Clad in emerald fire, draped in the silence of eternity, the Spectre's very existence bends reality around the justice of God's will. Empires have fallen at his whisper. Pantheons trembled when his shadow touched their thrones. He is not a hero, nor a villain. He is the consequence. The Spectre emerged from the formless mists of the spiritual realm, his voice echoing through the void between universes. A plague spreads across creation. When born of hatred before light was born, it seeks to end that which the presence ordained. The scales must be balanced. Across countless dimensions, divine entities whispered warnings. The endless stirred. The living tribunal watched, but did not intervene. The realms of heaven and hell both grew uneasy. For this was not a war of mortals nor gods. It was a war of foundations. When the Spectre peered through time and space, he found a blackened galaxy, sealed under a cocoon of writhing symbiotes. Knull sat upon his throne of wriggling darkness, his blade dripping with the essence of slaughtered celestials. His eyes, two black stars, opened slowly, and for the first time, he sensed something he had not felt since the dawn of all things. A presence that did not belong to the void. Knull sneered. I smell light, how quaint. The Spectre's voice thundered across the abyss. You have slain gods and silenced worlds, creature of darkness. But judgment cannot be slain. It endures beyond creation. Knull rose from his throne, symbiotes slithering off his form to take monstrous shapes. Judgment. You speak of the delusions of dying stars. I was before their light ever was. I'm the end you fear. Their gazes clashed and the void trembled. Planets cracked under the weight of their divine presence. For the first time in eons, Knull saw something that unsettled him. Not power, but absolution. The Spectre did not seek to destroy him out of rage or pride. He came as a law older than time. Yet even judgment can be corrupted. As the Spectre prepared to descend upon the abyss, he felt something within: hesitation. For Knull was not a mere sinner. He was the darkness before sin existed. Good judgment applied to that which existed before the concept of right and wrong. The presence was silent. No answer came. Only the command remained: balance the scales. And so the Spectre entered the abyssal realm, his emerald fire illuminating the unholy throne of the god of symbiotes. The shadows recoiled, hissing, but Knull smiled, for in light he saw nourishment. Come then, spirit, he whispered, drawing the all-black. Let me show you what your light becomes when it dies. The Spectre extended his hand, and galaxies flickered in his palm. You are judged, Knull, but judgment is never without war. And thus, the universe held its breath as light itself prepared to meet the first darkness. The fate of creation would hinge upon which force, vengeance or void, proved eternal. The clash was inevitable. The Spectre hovered above the Black Sea, his eyes burning with the emerald essence of divine wrath. You have slain gods, corrupted stars, and drowned souls that were meant for redemption. But I am not light, Knull. I am justice. The all-black symbiote morphed into a colossal blade, pulsing with dark energy. Knull swung it once, and reality screamed. But the Spectre did not flinch. His form expanded, his cloak stretching like the wings of eternity itself. He raised his hand, and the green fire of judgment cascaded outward, forming a shield of divine will. The blade met the flame. Knull roared, his symbiote tide surging. Black tentacles shot through the void, each one a living weapon carrying fragments of his essence. They struck the Spectre with the fury of annihilation. Yet where they landed, their darkness burned away, screaming under the purity of divine fire. Your judgment means nothing to the void, Knull hissed. Before the presence ever thought to speak, I was. Then you are the blasphemy I was made to correct, the Spectre thundered. He extended both arms, and from them burst chains of divine retribution, the chains of absolution. They wrapped around Knull's limbs, his neck, and even the all-black itself. The god of the abyss was dragged through the emptiness, crashing into the carcass of a long-dead celestial. The explosion sent shockwaves that devoured light years, but Knull laughed. You think you bind me, spirit? I am the void. The black god's body dissolved, melting into darkness that seeped through the chains. He reappeared behind the Spectre, his blade driving through the heart of the green flame. The Spectre howled, not in pain but in wrath. His form dispersed into billions of divine shards that scattered across the abyss, surrounding Knull from all sides. Each fragment spoke as one. Judgment cannot die. And then they converged. Knull found himself trapped in a sphere of divine energy, his darkness shrinking, his symbiotes screaming as they were burned away. For a moment, it seemed the wrath of heaven would finally consume the god of shadows. But Knull, in his boundless hatred, reached deeper into the void, into the original silence before creation. He called upon the nothingness that even the presence had left untouched. The darkness answered, the void itself bent toward him, filling him with a power older than sin. His body grew titanic, rivaling cosmic entities themselves. The all-black stretched into a spear that pierced through dimensions. When he struck, the Spectre was hurled across eternity, crashing through the veil of souls, where the dead await judgment. Knull followed, breaking into that sacred realm. For the first time in eons, the souls of the righteous screamed. The abyss had entered the afterlife itself. The Spectre rose from the shattered veil, his fury unimaginable. His voice trembled through existence. You dare invade the realm of judgment? Then face it. He unleashed his full divine form, a being larger than galaxies, a face of blinding wrath, surrounded by storming halos of justice. Every sin ever committed fueled his fire. Every soul ever condemned echoed through his roar. He struck, and the heavens themselves turned to emerald flame. Knull countered by absorbing the cries of the damned, twisting them into black lightning that lashed across the void. Their powers collided, tearing holes in space-time. Realities collapsed under their duel. Angels and demons alike fell silent, for they knew the outcome would reshape all of existence. Then came the turning point. Knull thrust his blade through the Spectre's form once more, but this time the divine spirit caught it, gripping the all-black with his bare hands. The symbiote screamed, burning as the purity of the presence's wrath flooded through it. Your blade is the corruption of creation, the Spectre declared. Now feel what it means to be judged. The Spectre channeled every ounce of divine energy through the sword, reversing its nature. The all-black turned white, the all-light, its darkness purged by holy fire. The weapon that had slain gods now cried against its master, rebelling against Knull's control. The god of the abyss fell to his knees, his form unraveling. Impossible! Knull screamed. You cannot destroy the void. It is me. Then you shall live as its prisoner, the Spectre said. With a sweep of his hand, the Spectre summoned a prison forged from pure divine will, a sphere of emerald judgment that no darkness could escape. Knull's form was bound within, screaming as light and shadow warred inside him. The void itself recoiled, shrinking back into the nothingness from which it came. The Spectre hovered above, his eyes dimming. He had won, but at a cost, for in purging Knull's darkness, he had touched the primordial void, and it had left its mark. His own form flickered with traces of black flame. The void's whisper lingered in his mind, tempting him, reminding him that even judgment can be swallowed by nothingness. The presence spoke, distant and low. You have restored balance, my spirit. But beware, even light too pure can cast a shadow.